and author of the bestseller. He's a friend. We don't always agree, but he is my brother, Geraldo Rivera. Good to see both of you. Let me start with you, Geraldo, on this, because I've always been a fan. Pompeo's a genius. I've been a fan of his for a long time. I'm glad he's our Secretary of State. And what he says to me is very impressive. But think about this. Trump calls him Little Rocket Man. He shows military force. He puts sanctions in place. The rockets stop being fired. The world is now safer. 3 hostages are released. He crosses the DMZ, and we're talking about denuclearizing or denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. You know what? Good story.
I'll say, when you consider how much we've traveled since the Olympics, just since the Olympics, John, if I was a diplomat, I'd say I was cautiously optimistic. But I'm not a diplomat, and I'm not very diplomatic. So let me say I am ecstatic by these developments.
No kidding. We know you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's it. I feel that, we've moved so far. And Pompeo is a very nuts and bolts kind of guy. It's not pie in the sky. It's not just wishful thinking on the part of President Trump. These are real, meaningful steps. The release of the hostages, the announcement that in 2 weeks he'll be blowing up the tunnels to his testing facilities. The fact that he's agreeing to dismantle, not only dismantle, but ship those component parts to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I mean, it is spectacular, Sean. If this is indeed what is going to happen, this is the biggest move toward peace since the founding of the United Nations.
That and literally the alliance that has been created by the president, Israel, the Jordanians, the Egyptians, the Saudis, the Emirates against Iranian hegemony. No cargo planes of cash, Dr. Gorka. A huge difference.
It's amazing what difference one election can make, Sean. It truly is. These are the kinds of results you'd be proud of at the end of a 2-term presidency. I was in touch with Mike Pompeo today. Spirits are very, very high. We have to be cautious. Remember, this is a dictatorship. This is a regime that has kept its people prisoner. But at the end of the day, you put these things on a whiteboard. In just 15 months, all of these things have been achieved. It would have been remarkable to have a summit on Korean peace in 8 years' time, not next week or the week after. So stunning, from the 70th birthday of the modern Israeli state today to the opening of the embassy, the hits just keep on coming.
Geraldo, I will say this, between that, pulling out of the Iranian deal, the great news on the economy, everything in between. I mean, all the noise, I argue, is not going to mean a thing when it comes to the 2018 election. I believe this election will be about the economy doing so much better, a world being a safer place, a president keeping his promises, and a desire to roll back tax cuts and impeach this president will be on the ballot in every congressional district.
It's interesting that you say that. I agree. And do you know who else agrees? The New York Times Week in Review had an article that I thought was very, very telling. They said that liberals are so smug. They know it all. They are so sure that they have God on their side and that Trump is the devil incarnate, that their attitude is going to lead them down the primrose path. President Trump is doing a spectacular job with the economy, as you mentioned, African-American unemployment, Hispanic unemployment, female unemployment, all indicators of optimism, everything pointed up. If he can now deliver this, a true denuclearized Korean Peninsula,
unbelievable.
The clock, the atomic clock that ticks toward midnight will have to be set back 5-10 minutes. It is really a profound step in the right direction, Sean.
We give Dr. Gorka the last word.
Sean, Geraldo, the president makes promises, he keeps promises, and this is what making America great again looks like. And we're going to have 7 more years of it and then 8 years of President Pence.
Well, what about President Geraldo? I thought he was running.
What about President Hannity? I hear he's next in line.
Everyone writes these stories about me. Nobody knows me. All right. Well, you two know me. Thank you both. We appreciate it.